Let's get educated. That's why we're here, to bring you the stories impacting K-12 classrooms and college campuses. It's time for a little education.
Hello, everyone. I am Katie Petrick, and I'm joined, as always, here by the doctor, Dr. Jake Jacobs.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, how's it going?
Fantastic.
Ooh, fantastic for a Monday. It's usually Fantastic Friday, but it's Monday, so we're still happy to be here. We are live on Educated because on Mondays we go live, and it's on Rumble. Now, as a reminder, as a way of getting around being, censored all the time on Facebook and YouTube, we're going to rebuild the connection with you and our audience here on the free speech platform known as Rumble. So if you want to follow along, that'd be nice. And as just a little way to help incentivize you even more to follow us, at rumble.com/Freedom Project, we're going to give away Amazon gift cards. I mean, that's free money right there.
That's when I'm a socialist, when stuff is free.
Absolutely. Now, every week, we're going to pick one person who comments on our Monday live show to receive a $20 Amazon gift card. And all you have to do is leave a little comment on this Rumble video right now. Go. So once again, go to rumble.com/Freedom Project, follow us, like the video, and then just leave a nice little comment. You know what? It doesn't even have to be a nice little comment. It can be a mean little comment for all I care. Just leave a comment and give us your thoughts. And since we live in a time where kids are not having thoughts, they're being dumbed down in school, and their attention span, what? The College Board has decided to make it even easier for students to score high on what they're calling, at this point, it's just called advanced placement tests. I won't say that they are indeed advanced placement tests, but they're called that, Jake.
Katie, on this Manic Monday, it's crazy. The AP College Board recently made changes to the advanced placement, the AP test, that have resulted in more student test takers receiving higher scores, according to the Wall Street Journal educators, and test prep companies are skeptical about the changes. You think? Alleging it's another form of grade inflation and a way to increase College Board business. Bottom line, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Let's take a look.
Is the College Board dumbing down AP tests? According to some people, yes. And recent changes to AP US history, world history, and European history kind of prove the point. They've announced some pretty big changes to the DBQ and LEQ. The DBQ is a document-based question. Students get the question and they get a few clips of documents, maybe some images, and have to write an essay based on those documents. Up until now, students have had to use 6 of the 7 documents to get full credit. Now that number has gone from 6 to 4. Now, another big change is in sourcing. This is when students would talk about the author's point of view or purpose, and that's gone from 3 documents down to 2. They completely changed the complexity point. It used to be about the overall effect of your essay. Now, if you use all 7 documents, you can earn complexity. If you source 4 of them, you can earn complexity. Critics of the College Board say this is just further proof that they're dumbing these tests down. Today, it was AP US, AP World, and AP Euro. A couple of years ago, it was the AP Englishes, Lang and Lit. Whatever you think, this is a big win for students because it's going to be easier to earn these points on test day.
Yeah, big win for the students. Big loss for our future as a country.
Katie, I taught the AP government, AP American history, and to me it was a scam from the get-go. It was the big thing with the bells and the whistles for the parents, so that by the time their kids went off to school, they would have college credits, etc. But it was, and I taught American history, general American history courses or government courses, but you had to cram so much into it, teaching to the test, not to any creativity within the curricula. And I actually put together a college prep history course where you could get college credit, but they said, no, you can't do that. It has to be AP. And you could see what was behind it was the parents driving this. And of course, it was sold to attract more students to the private academy where I taught. And I'm telling you, I didn't like teaching it because it was, pre-Columbian all the way up to Barack Obama, squeezing in literally just facts and data and information in many cases that was just about passing the test.
No, everything, it was taught to the test. Even back in my day, it was actually for students who excel in that subject area, students who are super interested in whatever that subject area may be. And at our school, I was a small school, we started with English. We only had English. And then when we got history, wow, big deal. I look at my current school, which is still a small district, they have an AP for almost everything because parents want their kids to get the college credit. Spoiler, I guess I'm breaking hearts here, but parents, your child is not gifted in every single subject. Hate to break it to you. They shouldn't be taking all AP classes just so that they can get the college credit. But because so many students I'm seeing are taking the AP test or taking the class to then take the test, they can't have these kids be geniuses in everything. So what they had seen was the test scores had been getting lower. And so they're like, oh, what are we going to do to help the students out? Because we can't have all these students be failing it. And so now they're making it easier for the kids. It's not that the kids, like their scores now are going back up. It's not the kids are getting smarter. It's the test is getting easier. And that's just pure fact. Fact.
Everything you just said is exactamundo. I mean, because this happened to me where I was told that I actually was teaching too in depth. It was going over their heads, et cetera, and I literally had to dumb down what I was doing. But I kept on saying, "But I am driven by this curricula. I have to cover these things. That's what they're telling me to do."
I mean, I've seen you taught it, but I've also seen that curriculum and what it is. And when they talk about the DBQs, I remember. Because even when I was student teaching and going in, because I was in the AP government class, it is just, we call it drill and kill. Like it
drill
was,
and kill.
It was just, especially when it comes to history. History is a story. That's the beauty of history. Anyone who loves history,
touche,
views it as a story, not as a you must remember this war, this battle, this exact thing. What's the number of deaths? What's the number of those who survived? What did they? You tell the story, and that's how the kids understand it. But for the DBQs, it's like you had to have a lot of documents or exposure to a lot of documents, and it was drill and kill on the exact facts, and then the kids didn't do well. But the fact that they are removing so many like necessary elements to understand the story is what is making it so they're not going to understand the history.
And so in essence, they don't understand the history.
They don't
get a sense of the story. In fact, the greatness of the American story, if it's an American history, plus you can just see it's so obvious. It's about the money. This is a multi-billion dollar money maker across the country. I think it's sad too, because in the midst of it, the kids aren't getting the spirit of our country. They're getting this what did you say, drill and kill. Drill and kill that in essence kills the telling of the story.
And even if you're like, well, I don't care about history. Well, what about English? They did the same thing to English. So kids hate reading stories because they don't get the story. They just get the which lens must we view this story through? The Marxist lens. The LGBT lens.
Yep.
And it's all of the stuff that is not the intention of the authors of those novels. It's not the intention of anything that those who consider themselves to be excited about literature, interested in it, would actually appreciate. Instead, these test makers are giving to the test takers so that they can get the money, because otherwise the test makers aren't in business anymore. So that's their viewpoint on it.
You know, what's interesting is a colleague of ours, Dr. Duke, the Dr. Duke Show, which I'd highly recommend, and you've worked for many years. He taught at the academy where I taught, and he taught Shakespeare, and he taught Dostoevsky, and he taught C.S. Lewis. He told the story in an amazing, wonderful, dynamic way. An AP course within English taught by Dr. Duke would be destroyed because ultimately they would take away the ability and the creativity that good teachers have.
Absolutely. And even for the students here now, just so you know, who don't take advanced placement courses and exams, just know that you're not left out. You can be simplified too. So the ACT, okay, so maybe you're not up at the AP advanced placement level, but you're going to probably take the ACT because at least in the Midwest, that usually tends to be the exam you take to get into colleges. Things are going to be easier for you too. The ACT just announced it will be shortening its exam because of a made-up reason, of course, that, you know, sounds like they care about. It's all about the students, right? We care about the students. So we're gonna shorten the test exam length for you, but also because we want to get more money. Just take a look.
Students are going to be seeing some big changes when it comes to the ACT. The head of the ACT says starting next spring, the test is going to be shorter, down from 3 hours to 2. Also, the science section is going to be optional. The cost of taking the test is also going to be reduced. The changes will give students more time to answer each question and let them focus on their strengths and abilities. That decision to update the ACT comes after the SAT was shortened and went fully digital earlier this year.
Oh, well, that's back in my day when we had to take it. You had to suck it up, Buttercup, and take the whole exam.
A long time.
Long time ago. But back in July, the CEO of ACT, Janet Godwin, announced that they were going to be, we're going to just shorten it. And it explained the organizers of the test additionally intend to make the exam more flexible. Their word, flexible, they put it in quotes, flexible for students by shifting that science section from mandatory to optional. So anyone who's into science, it's not going to help you. Unless you're into math, English, you're SOL, as we would say, if we want to use
I don't know what that means, but I'll tell you, I wish I was taking this I wish I was young again, because this would be a piece of cake.
Well, just go take it. Just go take it and see what happens. Yeah. Why not? Just go take it. So as the announcement actually read, it said English, reading, and math remain as the core sections of the ACT test. That will result in a college reportable score. Like the writing section, science will be offered as an additional section. So for all the money that we keep putting into the schools, because we need to have STEM, it's all about STEM, 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 STEM. Pretty sure science is the big one there for STEM. But what do I know?
Hey, by the way, STEM's going woke even.
Oh, it is woke.
Yeah.
It doesn't. They don't.
It blows me away.
Of course, because math is racist and everything else. It's ridiculous. But the test, the ACT, is going to decrease in length by up to a third, with the new version lasting around 2 hours compared to the 3-hour length. Because here's the deal: in case you haven't noticed, our students don't read full books anymore either. It's just too long. We can't comprehend entire novels. We must do short sections. And if you think I'm lying, I've been doing this test every single fall with my kids at the little apple orchard I work at. I question them, and they're from all different local schools. I say, have you read a full book yet in English? Are you reading a full book? And they do not. Out of the schools, and this is from like 7th or 8th graders, because you can start working on a farm at 13, all the way through high school. I said, have you started reading a full novel in English? No, we're just reading these paragraphs. I don't know. We're going to read one at some point.
Unbelievable.
That's what
so
I
this
get.
is literally, with what you're doing, that's hundreds, if not thousands, of young people across the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Unbelievable,
Yeah.
Katie.
It's what it is, but hey, how are they going to shorten the test, you may wonder? How's that going to happen? What are they going to do? Well, to achieve this, the test will include shorter passages on the reading and English sections and fewer questions in each section, 44 fewer questions in all, allowing students more time to answer each question thoughtfully. They fill in a bubble. It's a bubble test. They're going to be working on their coloring skills is what apparently is going to happen. That's what I'm getting from this. Shorter sections, because we can't have kids read full paragraphs. We can't. It's just.
We thought the millennials were snowflakes. This
No,
is
this
getting
is bad.
snowflakier.
I'm going to call it soundbite education. That's what we're at.
Yep.
We're in a soundbite education era. If you want to talk about Taylor Swift and your eras, her Eras tour, this is our soundbite education era.
What, you don't like Taylor Swift?
Oh, it's not even. I mean, come on. Come on, meow. All right. Well, just so you know, around 1.4 million students, or 37% of high school seniors graduating, at least back in the class of 2023, took the ACT. And that number is actually down from 58% in 2016 when the standardized tests were more widely required. But here's, again, we talk about it, the money. If you're a company and you look at 56%, hey, we got 56% of our target demographic taking our product, which this is a product. Oh no, the next year it's down to 37%. You are going to make a change unless you want to go out of business. And so if you say this is not a business decision, that this is for the children, you're crazy.
This is the corrupt, scamming, tail wagging the dog of education. If this continues, just like with everything else, the unions corrupting education, the teachers' unions, these organizations corrupting education, and we wonder why we have a problem in our country.
You know why we have a problem? Because Montel Williams, good friend, is up next in the wings to be president. And if these type of people get their way, that's why.
Touche.
But alas, we have much more to come on Educated. Stay with us. Today's episode is brought to you by Freedom Project Academy. Looking for a K-12 classical online school built on Judeo-Christian values? FPA is enrolling now for the fall. Request your free information packet at freedomforschool.com. That's freedom, F-O-R, school.com. So with all of the extra time now that our students have, instead of, studying or needing to care about science, I guess, we don't care about that anymore, they can spend more time on social media, right? Except the newest generation, Gen Alpha, wants to hang out on the YouTubes.
You're raising Gen Alpha. They're bizarre and terribly behaved.
From their skincare habits to their fashion choices to their screen time, Gen Alpha is at the center of one of the most heated parenting debates in years. And everybody seems to have an opinion.
These kids cannot read.
These kids can't write, they can't socialize.
The biggest issue is the parents.
Like, I'm not even trying to be funny, but these kids are...
Gen Z is leading the charge, flooding TikTok with criticism, blaming Gen Alpha's mostly millennial parents for kids they perceive are unruly, uneducated, and screen obsessed.
Y'all bred iPad children. You have been shoving media and screens in these kids' faces since birth.
Now, before we actually talk about this one, let's define our terms, if we will. Gen Alpha is the youngest generation. So it's basically everyone who's being born today, all the way up to age 14. That's the Alpha.
Can I ask you a question? So because we had Zoomers, do we start now back with the beginning
I'm
of the
guessing,
alphabet?
is Beta next? Like, I want to know
Yeah.
if we got Generation Beta coming up, because I think we're already there. I think the Gen Zers are the Betas, but I digress. So we're talking Gen Alpha, ages basically just born to about age 14. We had a survey that was done, and this is it. It makes me laugh because the survey was given, it says, to thousands of 2 to 12-year-olds. And I'm thinking, what 2-year-old took this survey? I must have been the moms or the dads answering questions, because I have a 3 and a 4-year-old, and they're not going to be sitting there going, let me ponder this question. No. So I'm guessing these 2 to 12-year-olds, there's mostly mom and dad answering for them. Well, the answer is they found that most of these kids, what are they doing with their days? How are they consuming their content? It's YouTube. It's all about the YouTubes. It's growing. Even from a year ago in 2023, YouTube was 72% of the content consumed, and now 81% in 2024. Like, if you are a YouTube content provider, now's the time to get kids material out there.
To monetize. And guilty as charged, my kids watch YouTube videos. I watch it with them. I've learned all about Paw Patrol, everything, all the toys of Paw Patrol. I mean, it's consumer like inundation, like it's there. So when you take a look at the fact that, hey, the U.S. kids these days are watching the YouTubes, they're not on the Snapchats or the Instagrams or the Facebooks. That's you old fogies. Okay, linear TV. What's linear? Is it TV? Why
think,
linear TV?
I'm guessing because it's like with YouTube, you could repeat, like and rewind and do all this. Linear TV is like you have to watch.
You're stuck.
I will say it has been the best watching the Olympics because it gives you commercial time. Like we watch it on the TV. We have an actual antenna,
TV.
And so when it's commercial time, we're brushing teeth. Commercial time. Let's go get your pajamas on. Commercial time.
Because it's
back what we used to do.
Yes.
Time to run for a snack. Get back before the action starts. So linear TV, I'm assuming that's it.
Okay, I learned something new.
Look at that. See, you're learning things. That's what we're here for. And so it's kind of crazy to me to think like this is what the kids are watching. And the thing is, they're watching it in excess. So according to like how much time are you actually do you spend playing or watching each of whatever it is you're doing in a typical day? the amount of kids we have watching YouTube shorts is insane. A lot of them, YouTube shorts are like, 30 seconds, 20 seconds? They're short. They're meant to be short. But there's 11% of the kids out there are watching for 3+ hours.
Katie, when I
Every
was
day.
a kid, I mean, granted, we watched TV and all that stuff.
For
but,
sure.
man, we were outside
Andy Griffith,
in
man.
the more Andy Griffith or
He was on at noon.
Or Batman. Well, Batman was one of. But
Adam
here's
West
my
Batman?
point: we were
The OG?
outside most of the time, especially in the summer here in Wisconsin. We were outside from early morning all throughout the day, and then maybe at night we'd settle in and watch a little TV. But come on, what's going on here?
Well, and back in my day, it was whatever mom and dad wanted to watch, too. I've gotten soft. I'm sitting there watching Paw Patrol, but you do what you do. You win where you can win, and you got to pick the battles, right? That's what they say. That's what the kids are saying these days. Well, you let us know if any of the Generation Alpha or Gen Z, or even if you have millennial babies who are full-grown adults at this point, but maybe they're still sitting there watching YouTube as well. It'd be interesting to see what everyone is actually watching, at least of our audience. That's what we care about. But, hey, I'm going to digress for now because we have some very important news. It's the Babylon Bee headlines. That's the news. Breaking news. Babylon Bee headlines are up next, and we need to pick a winner, so stick with us.
In 2024, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment where the call for unity, freedom, and a better future echoes louder than ever. Introducing Patriot Mobile, the wireless carrier that stands with you. We are committed to supporting the values that make our nation great. With affordable plans and reliable nationwide coverage, Patriot Mobile is not just a wireless service. It's a call to action for those who believe in the American dream.
Get free activation now with promo code EDUCATED.
All right, before we wrap things up, let's take a look at everyone's favorite satire site, the Babylon Bee.
Here are this week's top 5 Babylon Bee headlines.
We've picked our favorite headlines, and now we ask you to help us decide which one should be named Queen of the Hive. We start with number 1. White House assures journalists they only have to pretend Kamala is likable for a couple more months. 2. Kamala addresses black crowd wearing do-rag and a giant gold dollar sign necklace. Number 3. Hillary Clinton meets with Kamala to help her improve her black accent. And 4. Google search confirms Kamala Harris did not exist prior to July 22nd, 2024. And finally, number 5. Drunken Kamala mistakenly picks Ron Shapiro for BP. All right. For all of our friends watching, which one did you like best? Katie, let's start with you.
Okay, number 5 is beautiful. It shouldn't have been, actually, maybe not, because it shouldn't have been drunken. It's not Nancy Pelosi here. If it was Nancy Pelosi, it'd be like drunken Nancy, but it should have been hi, Kamala. Hi, Kamala, my ding dong. Mistakenly picks Ron Shapiro for VP, because everyone's talking like, oh, it's going to be Shapiro, not Benjamin
Not
Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro.
No,
Yeah.
but the
Was it Joshua?
Pennsylvania-
Joshua?
Joshua. Yeah. They're all thinking it's going to be him. We'll see. It should be hi, Kamala, but I digress. Otherwise, I think it was number 4. Google search confirms that Kamala Harris did not exist prior to July 22nd, 2024. This is not like Men in Black where you take the little device and zoom, everyone's memory goes away as to what just happened, but they're trying.
It's unbelievable.
Because everything you type into Google
down the memory hole.
Down the memory hole. That's what we can call it. Like, oh wow, it's like she was just born. Oh, all this new information. No, that's a lie. Anything that you come out with, which is they were just praising like 5 seconds ago, and now it's like erased from everyone's memories. No, that didn't happen. What about you?
Can I see him again? I think number 2, Kamala addresses black crowd wearing do-rag and a giant gold dollar sign necklace. I mean, this is just it's amazing what a chameleon she is. She's a black to the black audience. She's Indian from India to that audience. She's Kamala Devi, right? Those are 2 goddesses from the Hindu religion. It's just absolutely amazing.
Don't forget her good friend Montel.
And Willie Brown, the old
she's a great
mayor of
friend
San
to
Fran.
a guy named Willie and to a guy named Montel. I'm just saying. She's whoever you want her to be. Except president.
Come on, chameleon.
Hey, we just got a new theme song. Good stuff. Well, let us know what you think, because those are some good Babylon Bee headlines.
Well, that's going to wrap up our top headlines of the week. More satire next week, folk.
Oh, you bet there's going to be a lot more. And if you do enjoy our content, please, if you could, follow us on the Rumble channel at rumble.com/Freedom Project. Leave a little comment on today's video for your chance to win an Amazon gift card. People, free money. Come on now. Facebook and YouTube have been shadow banning us for years. Oh, it's been many years for us. So we are going to rebuild the audience over here on Rumble, where they actually care about free speech, not just chameleon it like whatever Kamala is trying to sell at the moment. So again, rumble.com/Freedom Project. Join us. Now for Jake and myself, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting what we do. Until next time, stay educated.